Hello, my name is Shane Silva. I'm 26. I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm currently living in Tokyo, Japan. I'm working at Gun and Military Echigoya. I'm the international director here. Airsoft in Japan started out actually in the early 80s. Basically starting out using Springer type pistols. Basically just cocking them back and just self-shooting. It wasn't until the late 80s, early 90s when gas guns were actually introduced. Basically just putting gas inside the magazines and it actually shooting semi-auto. Back in 91, 92, up to present to now, guns are now run by an electric battery. A decent amount of rate of fire, almost similar to a real firearm, as when it shoots and the looks of it. As far as the rest of the world, Hawaii is actually one of the states that started airsoft throughout the rest of the world. We've been playing in Hawaii for 18 years so far. I'm affiliated with the ASH Association, which is called Airsoft Hawaii. Like I said, we've been doing this for 18 years. And basically everything that gets filtered down from Japan filters all the way through Hawaii and kind of spreads out from there. Just being popularized by Hawaii and a lot of people from the US that come to Japan that are really interested in airsoft and want to know more about it. You get a lot of foreigners, from the US, Europe, that come down really interested, and they buy up a lot of guns, take it back to wherever they came from. And that's basically how airsoft kind of got started throughout the rest of the world. But really did get started throughout Hawaii. So I guess for me being a part of that, I'm really happy to be one to share with the rest of the world what's going on. Basically, I have a really big selection of guns. The MG42. There's 3 different types of variants for this gun, and they all range about $2,000 and up. This gun is really fun. This is the old German's rifle, which is kind of nice. This one takes a 12-volt, actually any type of battery held in the back. It has our own original mech box with the Steyr pop-up system. This gun is one of our demo guns that we kind of use a lot during games. Hook this bad boy up so we can give you guys a demonstration. Basically, it's pretty easy to put the battery in. Basically takes about 50 yen to unscrew it. Take your 50 yen and screw it back on there. Basically, this gun's like a remote control car. Just follow me right over here. Just open it up just like that. Turn the gun on from right here. It has BBs right inside there. Basically, gun fires like this. Power tune gun. It has a pretty good rate of fire. It's about almost 20 BBs a second. Being a machine gun, it should be able to hold down suppressive fire. So that was basically an example of that gun. This does have a bipod, so when you are playing out in the field, you can actually lie down and shoot suppressive fire with this, which is kind of fun for a lot of the customers that go out and use this. You actually get a kick out of the bipod, being that the gun is pretty heavy. Like I said, there's about 3 different styles of this type of rifle. The first one basically just uses regular Matsui gears and parts and whatnot. The second one has a little bit of a power upgrade and uses different types of systema gears. And then the third one is actually now using our new concept gears, the Phoenix gears that have just come out, which have been really popular. for a lot of people that do play airsoft, they know that when they get their gun, it has actual markings of the company that make the real gun. Take for example, Heckler and Koch, Colt firearms. They do have their markings on the guns, their names and everything. Everything that resembles a real gun is on the airsoft rifles. So shipping that to the U.S., we basically have to cover up, or if not actually erase or take off the markings, just so it passes through customs. And another thing too is that the muzzle tips of each gun has to be painted orange to signify that this is not a real gun and this is an airsoft gun. People have been walking outside of airsoft guns thinking that because it's a toy that nobody would really care. But the resemblance between a real gun and an airsoft gun is so similar that nobody can really tell the difference. If you just showed it to a person that had nothing to do or has no knowledge of airsoft guns, would think it was a real gun. There's been a couple of times in Hawaii that in the newspaper that people have been arrested for actually playing outdoors. So what they're trying to do is our club back in Hawaii is they're establishing fields throughout the state, so people have places to actually play on, legalized fields to play at. And the police department in Hawaii has really been helping us out, trying to find fields to accommodate people that do this, because the police do play. I mean, it's a hobby for everybody to enjoy, basically. And so they want more to try and help out the community. So that helps out a lot, to be kind of supported and backed by the police department. And same thing goes with Japan as well. We don't want nobody going outside with just a gun. Everybody in Japan knows that guns here are illegal, so that's why they got started basically making airsoft guns. It's just so they can have a replica they can play around with. They still require people to carry them in gun cases. You can only play in legalized fields here. You get some people that do play night games out in parks, which is fine too, because usually at night people are sleeping. So, but the best places right now to go play out in fields that should actually go with everybody else throughout the world as well. Basically, playing in a park can cause a lot of trouble with the police or with residents that live in that part of the neighborhood. A lot of people call the cops. A lot of people at the U.S. have real guns. Reasons being is that a lot of people like target shooting, plinking, and competitions, real still shooting competitions. So Japan, because they couldn't actually do that, they came up with the idea of, oh, let's try airsoft. So that's why you have these companies like Tokyo Marui, KSC, Western Arms, that have been coming up and building these guns to accommodate those type of needs. It's not necessarily otakus. I mean, there's a lot of gun maniacs. I myself being one of them. I love guns. Back in the U.S., I do have a few real guns that I do play with. M481, that's right here on the wall. This gun basically has been worked over to as much as you possibly could do to it. It's got a metal body. We have the military tech, EOTech hollow sight. We have an AMPEC on the front, which is basically an IR or infrared laser system only seen through night vision. This one actually just carries a battery inside. Sorry guys, it's not the real one. Silencer and collapsible stock. So like I said, people that actually do play using authentic uniforms do tend to spend a lot of money on trying to make their guns look as authentic as possible. Tokyo Marui's newest guns that we do sell here. It's one of the newest models that we've been it's been hard to get in just because of the popularity of the gun. They can't keep up with demand, which is kind of bad, but that's okay. Basically, it's just a gas gun, 27 shots, pull back on the trigger. Basically how that works. Same thing, realism as to a real gun. Decocking lever, decock the gun. SIG 226. Uniforms, yeah, that's kind of pushing it. I tend to just wear black with regular boots and whatnot, and though I do go out to play with a lot of these guys, I see a lot of people wearing uniforms. Same thing goes with Hawaii as well. People do, and throughout the U.S., a lot of people do wear World War II type uniforms. Japan, they wear Nazi uniforms and the old Japanese World War II uniforms, which it's kind of fun. A lot of them do cosplay, which is basically just wear a uniform and hey, try to look good. That's big. This past Sunday, we just had a game out in Union. It's called Battle at Kanto. We are the host. Echigoya is the host for that game. That brought out about 100 people. And it's a full day. It's an all-day event that serves lunch during the midday, so people won't get hungry throughout the day. But it's a really good game. It's basically capture the flag. A lot of blind spots in the road, so you don't know if the other team is right behind there until they start firing at you. But that game is played about every other month in Japan. Then you get other games throughout the U.S., like ours. I just came back from Hawaii. We sponsored the Ash Bash. That was Airsoft Hawaii's 18-year anniversary. And that brought out about 470 plus people to the game. If anybody is familiar with Jurassic Park, the movie, or Tears of the Sun, that was all filmed in Hawaii. We actually played on that location, which is really fun. Then there's other games throughout the U.S., say California. They have Operation Lion's Claw. If anybody's familiar with Black Hawk Down, the actual people that were in Mogadishu back in 1993, they do play Airsoft. And they're basically the main attraction at the games is when they come out to play. And those guys they really popularized Airsoft throughout the U.S. just because of those people. So it's a growing sport, and the games only get bigger as time goes on. In Japan, because the fields here in Japan are really small, if there was any way we can get more bigger fields, that'd be great, because just the turnout alone with a lot of the Japanese is really high, and there's a lot of people that do want to play. So just finding more fields for Japan, I think, is the biggest part. Bigger fields for Japan is the bigger problem. So well, the MG42 is actually it's made by Shui. It's a Shui-based gas type rifle. What we basically did is we had the gun, all the parts, the internals, taken out, and we use our own mech boxes and gears and motors and whatnot, our original motors, and throw that back in the gun to make it an electric gun, which is kind of fun to play with. You kind of lose the blowback of the gun, so you don't get that kind of thump into your shoulder that you usually would, but having an electric gun is a new idea. It's a new concept towards that gun, and probably be coming out with some more of those in the near future, namely the MG43. So that should be really exciting. So we were established back in 1993. Basically, we started out as a shop just selling guns and parts. Wasn't until the early 2000 that we actually started making it. We established another company called Angel. Basically, Angel is just a polycarbonate piston. It's clear, it's really strong, and Angel is now starting to get more popularized throughout the U.S. For example, our pistons are almost second to none. We actually designed one of the pistons to shoot. It's a short stroke piston that has a really, really high rate of fire. That piston will be able to make a gun shoot about 35 plus BBs a second. So that's pretty good. Other stuff that we do make besides pistons and all this stuff are tappet plates, bushings, springs. We do make our own original motors. I mean, we take out a lot of our guns to our demo guns, our custom guns, so that customers are able to check those out, and if possible or need be that they wanted to actually buy that gun, they would like be able to fire it first. Like, okay, I like this gun, so can you customize my gun to shoot the same way? So that's kind of how we have Hayate, which is a speed gun. We have a Reika, which is a power gun, and a Sadie, which is just a quiet type silent. It makes the mech box really quiet, so you can kind of sneak around. Those guns are three popular guns right now. People tend to work good with anything like that, so we try our best to work with customer needs. Everything right now is geared towards customers, so we want to make them as happy as possible. No, I hope anybody that watches this, I hope you guys really enjoy the interview, and I hope you guys start to play Airsoft in a legal fashion. Airsoft can be fun for those of you who are interested in this type of play. And if anybody's familiar with paintball or who play paintball, you guys should try switching over and playing Airsoft.